Hey guys, so this is for you runners. We're focusing predominantly on the thoracic movement, the back and the hips, the hamstrings, the back of the legs, the ankles, the feet, really important, and a bit of the quads as well. Consistency is the key for this, so it's quite a short program, and the more you do it, the more effective that you'll find it. We're going to keep all the movements pretty dynamic. So you're going to tuck your toes under, so you're getting a stretch through the front of the ankle. And then you're going to step back and try and bring your knee as close to the floor as you can. So you're getting a really cute angle there through the front also. So you're going from this extension through the stretch through the front, a big crack there for me. And then step back, knee towards the ground. You might feel the stretch in the Achilles as well. You just try and bring your knee as close to the floor as possible. Just doing this about 6 reps. So it's all pretty dynamic. The reason being that as runners we tend to be pretty stiff through the same repetitive movement a lot, and when you hold static poses like still stretches, it tends to have the adverse effect than what we're looking for. So often then when your muscles are tight and you hold a pose and you really try and press for a bigger stretch, then your muscles just contract, they tense up, and then you get even stiffer. So we're keeping everything pretty dynamic, just moving in and out of the range, encouraging your muscles to know that as you move in and out of these positions, they're safe places to be, and that your muscles can relax. We can therefore get a little bit more range, a bit more mobility, be better off for when we get back out for our runs. We'll do one more like this, so tuck under, make sure you're getting a big stretch through the front of the ankle, and then step back, knee to the ground as much as you can. And then for the other side, so tucking the foot under and then stepping back. And don't worry if your range is pretty small at the moment, just the more you do this, the more difference you'll feel. Consistency is the key, so just go as far as you need for now. You can even bend your standing leg to put a little bit more weight into that foot. A couple more here. You can even flex out that front foot if you're feeling awkward in that position, and it helps you to find more of that ankle stretch. Last one. Stepping back, knee towards the ground, and then release. Okay, legs out wide, toes turned out through an external rotation. Bend your knees and then press your hands quite aggressively into your thighs. So we want to get the knees as wide as possible. If you're really stiff in your hips, you'll find that your knees are quite close in, but you're trying to, with your hands, manipulate so you press the knees out. You should feel the stretch in the groin in the inner thigh area. You're working towards getting your arms straight, so that means that you're really pressing back a lot. Going to go for thoracic rotation here as well, so drop your shoulder in and then look over the other shoulder and then switch over to the other side. So really press aggressively with your hands, drop one shoulder in and look over the other shoulder. We'll do that once more each side, so drop the shoulder in. Ooh. Massive crack there for me. And the other side. And then coming all the way up. Keep your legs that wide, bend one knee, straighten the other leg, flex the foot. You're looking for a stretch through the inner thigh. And then coming up and over to the other side. So bend the knee, keep an external rotation so both your knees are facing out. And with this one, it's completely up to you how low you go. You can just go as much as feels like a good stretch for you. You've got the range and you want to go all the way down, then go for it, but keep the knees facing out. Don't panic if your heel comes off the ground. And that means that you have to really power up through the glute to come over the other side. And we'll do one more. And then release. Bring the feet in just a tad. Hands on your hips, bend your knees. You want to be an anterior tilt of the tailbone, so that's the one where you stick your bum up. This will help access the upper attachment of the hamstrings. So fold forward and then inhale straight back up again. Exhale, slowly control down, and inhale, you can drive pretty quick up. So folding forward, look for that stretch through the hammies, and up, 2 more. And last one, coming down. This time we're going to hold it there. Just a little bend and extend, trying to maintain that anterior tilt of the tailbone. So if you're very stiff, the back will want to round, but try and keep tucking the hips up. Going to go for a rotation here. So hand in the middle on the floor, or if you're really stiff, then you can put it on the foam roller. So reach up with the other arm, and then it will go to the other side, and I'll show you with the roller. So you press down with something a bit higher like a block, then reach up for the twist. So your knees are probably a little bit bent if you're very stiff in your hamstrings. If they're straight, great, but it doesn't matter. One more to each side, reaching up. Just show you from the other angle, legs are pretty wide, reaching up, the big twist, and then release and fold forward. So your legs are still wide, you're just coming into a hang forward fold. Make sure your head is heavy, your shoulders are released. Then you're going to walk your hands all the way out, so you're in a downward facing dog, like an upside down V with really wide legs. And then again, bending and extending the legs. So a little bend and extend, don't worry if your heels don't touch the ground, it's not important. A couple more like that. And one more. And then release the knees to the ground. 5 reps of cat and cow. So inhale, lift the tail up, look up. Exhale, round the back, try and push up towards the ceiling with the middle back. Inhale to lift up. And exhale to round. 2 more. Okay, you're going to thread the right arm through and under the left. Bring your right ear towards the ground. And then just reach out and in a couple of times. So you're getting a little bit more thoracic rotation, rotation of the upper back as you reach under your other arm. You should also feel quite a good extension for the lower back here. If you want to get more of a shoulder stretch, reach the other arm all the way up and around behind you. Hold there for 2 more breaths. Big inhale, exhale. And then onto the other side. So switching arms, show you from a different angle. So thread the other arm through and under a couple of times. Just reach out a little bit more. So you're sliding. And then ear on the ground if it will reach, or a cushion. And then twist your or rotate your torso a little bit more towards the ceiling. Either stay there or reach the arm up and around. And then release, coming all the way back. So tuck your toes under and then sit on your heels. It feels really awkward because it's really intense on the feet, but how your feet come in contact with the ground is, well, it's the only contact that you have with the ground, so it affects the whole rest of the body. And running is so repetitive that how dexterous and healthy your feet are is going to affect injuries at the rest of the chain. So it feels awkward, bear with it. Distract yourself by interlacing your fingers behind your back and pulling your fists back. And then release, and we'll do the other version of it. So tuck the toes under. This might be plenty, so adaptation of the one that we did earlier. If it's not enough, then lift the knees up and lean your way back. It should be quite a good stretch for the front of the ankles. You might feel it in the quads as well. And then release. Okay, so back into that downward facing dog, but with bent knees, pressing your chest right back towards your thighs. Step the left foot forward and try and get it right outside the hands. Then lift right up onto your fingertips and lift your chest up. So you should feel a big stretch through the hips. So your foot's outside your hands, you're lifting your chest. Should feel good opening in the hips. And then reach right up with the left arm. So if you've got your left foot forward, left arm reaches, otherwise vice versa. And then bring the hand back down, release the back knee down to the ground and rock forward and back over the front leg. So you're getting that stretch through the front of or the back of the leg. If it's too intense and you're really stiff there, then use a foam roller. You want to maintain the length through the lower back as you come into extension. So you don't want the back to round, trying to extend the spine. One more like that. And then step back to the other side, so back into that bent knee crouch, opening up the spine, step the other foot forward, rise right up onto your fingertips, a little rock forward and back, trying to straighten the back leg as much as you can, feel the glute activating on the left side, and then release the back, reach up, reach up, big twist, and then release the back knee down and rocking forward and back over the front leg. Two more like that. And last one. This time step the back foot forward so you're in a squat. And then just moving around in the squat, mobilizing the hips, fine for the heels to be off the ground, and then stay still and just hold it for 5 seconds. Really try and press the thighs out. Don't worry if your heel's on the ground. 3, 2, 1. Hands in front of you, so you're kneeling on one leg and the other leg is outstretched to the other side, and you're just rocking forward and back, forward and back. So the foot is flat to the ground, or the inner part of the foot is on the ground. You should feel a stretch through the hips or the groin area. The other knee is out. So just rocking gently forward and back. Then we're going to go for a rotation of the leg in the hip socket. So you're going to flex the foot, bring the foot up towards the ceiling and then down towards the floor. Up towards the ceiling and then down towards the floor. Just about 6 reps. And one more. And release. Then bring the knee to bend, foot faces the top of your mat, and then you're just leaning in and out. You'll either feel the stretch through the inner thigh, or if you have got the knee really far over the ankle, you'll feel it more in the ankle and the Achilles. So it depends how high up you are, and you can try both. So either being quite upright, you might feel it more in the inner thigh and groin. Otherwise, if you want to get more into the ankle and the Achilles, then you'll need to bring the other knee in and try and get this knee right over the foot and try and keep the heel on the ground. And then release for the other side. So kneeling on one side, foot facing forward, just a gentle rock forward and back, forward and back. And this knee can be as far out as you like. The further out it is, the more intense it will feel. If it's directly under your hip, it'll be a bit less intense. So go with what you need. Just make sure you're not contracting because it's too much. And then externally rotate and bring the foot back down. So just a couple of rotations towards the ceiling and to the floor, to the ceiling and to the floor. 2 more. And then slide the leg in, still facing forward, and then just rocking up and down. So you can either be totally upright and try out the different options. So everyone's tighter in slightly different places, so experiment. If your other knee is sore from being in this position, then you can put double up the mat or put a cushion underneath. And then release. Okay, so we're going to come all the way up and do some single leg work. Really important as runners that we've got lots of strength in there, strength stability on the one leg. So you're going to interlace your fingers around your right leg, so you're balancing on your left leg, and pull the right knee as close towards you as you can, so you're compressing through the hip. And then you're going to send the leg all the way back into a single leg balance. Reach your hands towards the ground, you might feel a stretch through the back leg. And then step the leg back, flex the front foot, and scoot your hands towards the front foot. Come all the way up, reach the arms back behind you, and grab a hold of the back foot for a quad stretch. We'll do this a few more times. So from here, in the quad stretch, I'm going to take the opposite, knee up towards your chest, interlace the fingers around the shin. All the wobbling is good because you're strengthening the ligaments and tendons around the ankle joint, which you need to avoid twisted ankles and prehab. Good wobble there for me. Set the back leg back, bend the back knee, try and keep your back straight as you reach forward. Big stretch through the hamstring, and then straight into the quad stretch as you reach your shoulders up and around. We'll do that once more. So interlace the fingers around the shin, pull the knee right up towards you, send the leg back, balancing on that one side, hands reaching down towards the floor, and then step back, bend the back knee, scoop the arms all the way forward, up overhead, and then reach for the quad stretch and hold. And then release for the other side. So interlace the fingers around the left shin, pull it as close in towards you, try and stand up tall, try and straighten the standing leg, and then fly the leg back, try and keep your hips facing towards the floor. As you balance, don't worry if you wobble, every wobble is good because you're strengthening those micro muscles. Step back, bend the back knee, straighten the front leg, flex the foot, reach the arms forward, all the way up. go as slow as you like with this. If you feel like I'm going too fast, then just hold back a bit. Just do a couple less reps. Interlace the fingers in front, pull the knee in, compression through the hip flexor. And then fly back. So leg can be slightly bent here, it doesn't need to be straight. Step the leg back, controlled, flex the foot, reach forward, all the way up, and into the quad stretch. And last time. And that quad stretch. And then release. So cross one foot over the other knee in a figure 4 position, and then you're going to sit your weight back. So you're going to get a stretch through the glute here, and again, single leg stability, really important for us as runners to work on one leg and let the ankle joint really strengthen up as you work to stabilize. You want anterior tilt here, so that's the bum sticking out rather than tucking under. So try and get your standing knee directly over the foot, the weight back. You can reach your arms out to counterbalance you. You want to hold it for about 30 seconds if possible. And then coming all the way up the other side. So crossing the foot over just above the knee, turn around so you can see. You want to send the hips back as you reach forward. It's fine to hold on to something if you need while you're improving. Really trying to lengthen your lower back.